It had been hailed a moment of hope, the fall of long-time dictator Muammar Gaddafi. But nearly a decade on, this is what much of Libya looks like today. The strewn wreckage of a country splintered by conflict between two warring sides. The Government of National Accord, or GNA, runs the capital and much of the country's northwest. In the east, a parallel government controlling nearly two-thirds of the country. It's led by General Khalifa Haftar and his well-armed Libyan National Army, or LNA. Neither side, though, is acting in isolation, and battlefield Libya has many hands at work. Haftar is generously backed by the UAE, Saudi Arabia and Egypt, who view political Islam as a threat and see Haftar as the country's last line of defence. They are joined by Russia and France, while the GNA sees support from Turkey, Qatar and a handful of EU states, such as Italy. But importantly, it has the rubber stamp of UN legitimacy. Despite that, it only survives through outside friends of its own, and mostly Turkey, who've gotten involved directly. President Erdogan recently receiving authorization from his parliament to deploy troops there.
If Haftar's attacks against the people and legitimate government of Libya continue, we will never refrain from teaching him the lesson he deserves.
Being there is crucial to President Erdogan's strategic interests beyond the Middle East, burnishing his regional reputation as a power player. Haftar, though, says he is up for the fight.
We hereby accept the challenge. We are announcing the mass mobilization of our troops. We call for a holy fight.
Meanwhile, Russia has been bolstering its presence around the Mediterranean. There has been a rising number of reported Russian mercenaries supporting Haftar's troops on the ground in Libya. Moscow claims they don't represent the Russian state, as they've also claimed in Ukraine. But from Syria to Libya, President Vladimir Putin's expansionist strategy remains clear. The United States, on the other hand, has been more capricious. It launched airstrikes targeting ISIS and al-Qaeda in 2015. But then pulled its troops amid the surging political violence. Its position now isn't quite clear. And in the vacuum of war, chaos. Hundreds of thousands of migrants using Libya as a dangerous springboard into Europe. The continent, for the most part, calling for a political solution to the bloody conflict. Becky Anderson, CNN, Abu Dhabi.